Good morning, everyone, or good evening by the time you watch this, and welcome to Warno. They have thankfully fixed some of the replays, so we can get back to casting some games. There's still a few which I have issues with coming up as invalid, but I have let the devs know. But let's get into today's game from the monthly Warno tournament February between Wero and Ph3n6x. Wero is playing as the 2nd Panzer Grenadiers, and Ph3n6x playing as the 39th Infantry. Obviously 39th with no forward deployment, it will just be recon that get up to the front first. However, over on the other side, obviously Wero does have those forward deployment troops. Some FS Jaeger, some Milans. Good spread of units for both players. I think slightly more going to the center for both of them. Certainly plenty going up the top here for Wero as well. Not a huge amount down the bottom, but certainly some anti-air units there coming up at the back, and some long-range units as well, an M40. Do have BMP3s in at the back there, at least one already for Ph3n6x. Obviously a very good unit and very good in the middle due to its long-range missile. A couple of choppers here, getting some attacks in. Obviously a pretty good chopper. It's both recon and it has weapon systems, rockets and guns. Good for taking out these early infantry. Very aggressive move from Ph3n6x here, pushing right into this part of the forest. This is a really good idea if you can make it there. And I mean, he'll be pleased with that because he's against someone who has forward deployment, and he's managed to get all the way to here. Obviously, the use of those choppers being paramount there. We'll need to be careful though, as there are Fliegerforce moving in down here. And there's a tornado coming in to take out those helicopters, but you can't fault them. They have done their job. Even if they die now, they have done an absolutely amazing job. Also coming in at the back here almost kills the tornado. We can get in on some of this action. I know I don't zoom in often. I will try from time to time. It's easier on these smaller maps because I can be in multiple places at once to show off what's going on, even though I'm zoomed in. Really nice snipe there with the M40. Jaeger Aufkel pushing up quite aggressively here. Will come up against some resistance, though. There is enough there to hold versus a few infantry squads. Obviously, you've got everything from Wero sort of backed into this corner at the moment, but there's nothing at the top of the map. Ph3n6x has nothing at the top of the map. That means this entire side is undefended. Now, quite often you'll usually see whoever's on Ph3n6x's side try and take these buildings at the very least, which means that they can fire at this area and across to here. And then holding this side as well, they can fire down here. So not having this area is a big worry, because it means that he can be encircled. And right now you will notice there is a bit of a semicircle going on already from Wero's forces. That's obviously of concern. He needs to be careful about getting encircled, because if Wero had enough forces, I'm not convinced he will have. Very good use of an Su-25 rocket attack here. And there's only Fliegerforce to stop him at the moment. But yeah, if you could get round here, if Wero could get round the back and cut off the supply lines, then he could eventually mop up everything in the middle. But, you know, you have to have a lot of units to do it. It's not a simple case of, oh, just send a couple of squads of infantry. You're going to need tanks, infantry, anti-air, all to push around the back. And they can push around quite far up here and probably not be seen by most of Ph3n6x's forces. Obviously, Ph3n6x, realizing this could be a thing, is putting some recon at the back there. So he is thinking about this. He has realized that that is a gap in his lines. Yeah, not too much movement here. Obviously, the Jaeger there probably... I think they have eyes on that building at least. They can probably see that vehicle. Let's just check that, actually. I'm going to quickly bring this up just purely out of interest. Yes, he can see that building. So the tool is very helpful. So a little update, I guess. Hide that panel again. The tool has obviously changed. We're now in this situation where we have the white area and then we have the blue area. And the blue area, the unit cannot see. But if there is other recon that can see that area, or the units that can see that area, then the unit can then see that area. Just to make matters more confusing. Nice HE strike coming in here against this building. There's a lot of troops in that building. Did he get many kills? I think he just destroyed the building. that jet did take some damage. What size bombs does it have? 450 kilogram bombs. It did kill the building, but it didn't do any damage to the infantry. They did nerf bombs. And this, I think, is from the patch before they buffed them slightly. Again, maybe, not sure. I'm so confused at the minute because there's been so many patches in quick succession. I'm struggling to know which update is which from these replays and stuff. It's a bit all over the place because obviously every time I load a replay, unless it's in the current patch, it just loads an independent player. So I don't know specifically which patch it is, unfortunately. Not that it would do me much good, probably. But it is what it is. Jeopard's coming in now. Some decent anti-air coming in, which is very handy for Wero because obviously he is a threat from those Su-25s. A couple of T-62s coming in at various points of the map. Although, that one's heading to the center, actually. I thought he might bring something else in to defend down here. Maybe he's just feeling like he doesn't need to at the moment. I mean, there isn't a lot there. I don't think that Wero's going to push at the bottom here. MGs and the M40 getting some shots off at those guys. BMP3 in a good position, though. Obviously outranges all of this. Range on this guy, not great look. Can't quite see the BMP3 either, technically, because it's in that area that you just can't quite see. The blue area. What's this recon able to see out of interest? Oh. Jeopard engaging on that Mi-24. And yes, for the benefit of the Germans, I know it's called a Gepard. Tornado getting out with its skin intact. Oh, it's coming back round. Oh, so it doesn't fire a second missile at it. I was expecting another one to come at that from the rear. Quite a lot of units in this area. That's not something you see very often. Obviously, I guess it's like that because Phoenix is all the way up here. But usually you don't have quite so many units here. It's normally more focused around the top, or, you know, Wero has this area. It's an unusual way to see this map develop. Usually it's sort of mid-game when the player at Phoenix's side pushes to this area. So to be in there right from the get-go really changes up the gameplay on this. And the choppers are doing an absolutely amazing job for Phoenix here. I mean, they've survived for quite a long time. I think is one of them down, but one of them's still up. Just looking at the reinforcements, plenty of anti-air coming in. Obviously, there has been a seed and a couple of jets brought in by Wero. Some more Jaeger coming in. He's putting a lot into here for defense. Phoenix, the slightly more aggressive player, definitely. Oh, bit of movement here from Wero. He's pushing into this area. Good fire support from multiple tanks, so will pose a big threat to the infantry in this building. Mi-24, out of rockets, still has its guns, but is now getting hit by a Jeopard and a Fliegerfaust. I think that Mi-24 is dead. I'd be very lucky to survive here. There it goes. This might be a nice little push here from Wero. He might be able to breach this area. Obviously, all of the tanks and stuff are coming in now. The BMP3 has been shifted into position. Obviously poses a big threat with its missiles more than anything else. Close up and personal, it will do also a lot of damage with its cannon. Smoke here from a Tampella from Wero to stop the tanks here being able to fire. Now that could go either way. So if he has enough infantry, it's beneficial because it means that Phoenix has to push his vehicles up. And then his infantry can kill them. But at the same time, he's pushing up BMP-1s and their tank gun is still kinetic. So if it gets close enough, it's still going to do damage. Seed coming over again. There's no anti-air at this bottom point. Osa is getting shots off. It is dead. Seed is down. Tornado HE coming in again, going for this building. Won't take much fire as it evades. No, Osa tried to fire. Now that was a good strike. Once again, destroying the building. Quite a bit of damage done to these infantry, but I think that's a mixture of the bombs and all of this stuff firing at them. A little bit of movement here. Wero being a little bit more assertive, a little bit more aggressive now. It will pay off, I think. He is sort of whittling down forces and forcing Phoenix back. Now, the difficulty here is there's a lot of open ground here. So if Phoenix does have to retreat to this tree line, and Wero is very aggressive, he can technically pick stuff off as Phoenix retreats. And this smoke isn't going to last forever, so it won't provide cover for that retreat. These Milans, Marder Milans I should say, doing some great supporting fire against these infantry, and a load more of them coming in. I mean, these are, you know, an expensive bunch of units realistically. They're only Marder 1s, but they're good units. The amount of fire they can put down with that 20mm cannon. Really good maneuver here from Wero. He's really made some progress. It may not seem like much, but being able to get into these forests and hold them is great for him at that side of the map. Obviously, some slight point advantage currently to Phoenix, but there's just going to be a lot of build-up of forces here. I mean, Wero is losing a lot doing this, and the attacking player always does, but he is managing to do a lot of damage to Phoenix's forces. You notice here that there was more being called in at the back here, so Phoenix is now thinking, okay, I need to defend this back line. Struggling to hold this area. It's whether all these units can push back into this tree line. I think one of the difficult things is, if you're in this tree line, you've got this hill here. So this area is a hill. And if I put this here, you see? You can't see over it. And equally, you can't really see down it if you're in the edge of this tree line with tanks and stuff. So if you're in this area as the player on Phoenix's side, you really need heavy vehicles, preferably, in the edge of this forest, and lots of not missile anti-tank, but rapid fire anti-tank. So recoilless rifles, RPGs, stuff that's potentially going to be in range of the top of that hill, because as soon as the enemy pokes their vehicles over, you want to just snap and shoot at them. Snap and shoot at them. Because a missile, they're going to reverse before the missile goes off, and they're probably going to have taken a shot at you in the meantime. Really good push here from Wero. Look at this. Making great progress. Neither player taking advantage of the top of the map at all. Both players sort of ignoring it. And I feel like Wero could have had control of this entire area and the top and be firing down here. Which I think is a shame for Wero, because it would have given him another opportunity to hit some of these units from the side. But he's doing a great job of pushing here. I'm just surprised no one has taken the top. As I say, this is an unusual way that I've seen this map played. No movement down here, everything focused in the center, but nothing at the top. It's just unusual. You usually see something up there. HE Bomber coming in, going for this area. Might get the Osa here, actually. Those bombs were very spread out, didn't do a huge amount. Phoenix very clustered in this tree line here. Certainly dishing out the damage, though. Stuff that's coming in. Smoke going down to stop these guys firing out. Good use of smoke by Wero. It's not something we see used all that often in Warno, to be honest. It's something I remember seeing used a lot in Wargame, but I've not seen it used a lot in Warno at all. But when it's used, it is technically used pretty well. I remember when it was used to cover CVs and stuff to stop them being killed. It was very effective at that. IDS HE Bomber coming in again, hitting this area again. Did get a kill this time, but unfortunately it had been the case that Phoenix has pulled a lot of his forces back already because they've taken damage. I think Wero has the bigger force here. He's got tanks at the back that need to push up. And these martyrs as well, they just need to be moved forward. He needs to keep the fire support up. They can... Sometimes they seem to be, like, getting shots off, but not all the time. Just having a look at what else is coming in. Leopard 2A3, big tank time. And the other side, T62s. T80 coming in, big tank down here as well. Where's it off to? To the middle. No movement on the bottom still. Wero in a nice position now. Has control of this area. Plenty of tanks in here. And yeah, this is what I was saying, you know. Phoenix obviously caught in this area now. Wero has realised there's nothing up here and is moving units round. And he's just pummeling this from both sides. You've got the M40 there firing in. You've got stuff there that's going to fire across. S25 rocket getting a good attack run on, but is dead. Tornado taking a lot of fire. Is down as well. Wero's still losing units here, but he has killed a lot of the attacking force that, well, the originally defending force from Phoenix. Phoenix has lost a lot in the center here. As I said, it's very hard to retreat over open ground. And, you know, when you've got tanks and stuff firing at you. T80 doing some damage here. Unfortunately hitting Pioneers while getting shot at by enemy tanks. So not in a good position. It could be a recon issue. There are some... There was some recon there, sorry. They're dead now. D20 there. Getting some shots off this building. Actually doing some damage. But Wero making great progress across the center here. Almost to the halfway mark in this game. Technically right now Phoenix is winning because he's ahead on points. But I'd say in the ground war it almost feels as though he's on the back foot slightly. But it is on Wero to take out a command vehicle and take this point. Or the bottom point. Or the back point. He needs to take control. He needs points to win. Jaeger have made it all the way across here, unscathed. A little bit of fire from down here, but they will make it into the forest. Other infantry pushing across, and, you know, one thing at the moment is infantry reasonably good at pushing across an open area as long as they're not under consistent fire. The T62s there could cause issues. These guys are in range of the cannons now, so yeah, that's going to hurt. Model 1A3s, can't see them. I was going to say they technically would be in range to fire missiles. Missiles coming in from the T62s, though. Where's the Leo 2A3 gone? I think the Leo 2A3 is dead. There's just 1A5s here now. Leo 2A3 must have died in all of the fighting. Oh no, it's up there. Was there one down here? I honestly don't know if there's one down here as well, but there is one up there. That's being pushed up, incidentally. Wero in this area now, but taking fire from artillery, from tanks, in a moment from a chopper as well. Unfortunately, he's got no AA up here, so the chopper will be devastating. Obviously, very short work of any infantry with those rockets. And it's got 40 rockets, there we go. Devastatingly good. Fliegerforce being called in now. Tornado, anti-air being called in. Fortunately, the Fliegerforce were moving, so it didn't engage at the time. Still no AA down here. Units from Wero now firing across here. Obviously, the Jaeger can see these. So anything that's up here, that's in the blue sights. Jaeger is pushing up. Phoenix now sort of clustered in this back corner. Wero needs to keep stuff moving. He's doing a really good job at the moment. IHawk coming in now. Lots of Fliegerforce. Well, Osis coming in the other side. A big tank. This is a really challenging game for both players. In that it's not a big map. It's very focused. Some of the maps you play in the tournament, you spread over quite a wide area. and you're attacking multiple points in different places, and it's difficult to reinforce, and it makes it easier to push. So when one person pushes one side, you can push the other side, whereas on such a tight map like this, it's not easy to do that. So as you can see, like, in your head, maybe you'd think, oh, Phoenix could push the bottom. That's very difficult to do, because Wero can push down from the middle and cut off the push that's going into this side. So Phoenix can't easily push across there because everything's so close together. Of course, you can look at it the other way. It's less area to worry about, and you know, you can concentrate more on particular parts of the map. But that comes with its own difficulty of then making it harder to push. Artillery going in on the command there. Lucky guess, rather than definitely being spotted, I assume. Well, Wero's Fleet Force have arrived, but they're kind of running around in the middle of fields on their own at the moment, which is a bit risky. They're going to be easy cannon fodder for the BMP3s and any tanks. I wouldn't necessarily... Yeah, there we go. See, immediately. As soon as something sees them. Yeah, and that, you know, they're a two-man squad. They're easy pickings. Especially for a BMP3. That is unfortunate. Possibly called those in with a auto unload command and kind of forgot about them. I think one of the best maneuvers I ever saw for a counter push on this map was, I think it was Ph3n6x. His opponent was pushing around here, and I'm sorry I can't remember who his opponent was, but pushed the bottom here. And rather than lose all his units, Tanner pulled everything out the bottom of this point, moved them all the way around the back here, and brought them back in the top of the point, up here, and pushed all the way back in. It was an absolutely amazing maneuver. You don't see it done very often. Because obviously, you know, if the opponent realizes what you're doing, they're going to shift stuff to defend, but it worked. It's not something you see very often. SC-25 taking lots of fire there, but does get out. And that was the last of those. Oh, I think one Flieger Force might have escaped that little, unless that was already there. Certainly a few squads have died here. A little bit of progress for Phoenix. He's sort of in this area again. He's getting hit by leopards. Leopards just killed something there that smoked, but a little bit late. SC-25 AT coming in, going for that Leopard 2A3, I assume. Yes, indeed. God, the range on that missile is huge, isn't it? Flieger Force, Eyehawk, and it's down. Unlucky on the SU-25. Recon choppers pushing in here. Getting a bit of a bird's eye view on things. Very little movement at the bottom. Obviously, Phoenix lost his units there. The recon has been lost down here. You know, neither player with a huge force at the bottom. Where are these guys going? Again, heading to the middle. You almost wish, for the sake of Phoenix, he had a tank somewhere down here to cut off the reinforcements on this road, because there are still units pushing up to here and using this road, and that would be easy pickings for a tank, just to hit them as they come to this area. Not sitting here, that's too far forward, but if you sat them back here on the road just to shoot that way, because there's no ATGMs here. It's just the M40s, and their range isn't that good. Good use of artillery harassment. Good use of tank harassment, pushing around the top. The 1A, 1A1s are in now. HE bombers coming in as well. 2 in quick succession. Will take fire, but not enough to kill them. Wero doing a fantastic job of keeping the pressure on. You'll notice there's just so much stuff sat back here now, including a command tank for Phoenix. But Wero is really putting on the pressure. And still there's nothing in this part of the area, or this area of the map at all. It's been silent the entire game. These guys pushing up there. I feel like Phoenix is having a really hard time of it right now. Wero's doing a really good job of harassing with the artillery, even if it's not doing huge amounts of damage. And also the use of units just pushing up. You get Aufkul pushing up here to see what's going on in the forest. Loads of Jäger Aufkul. I mean, these are just marching across open ground, supported by loads of tanks behind them. I mean, that is a lot of fire support, realistically. Chopper there, killing the Jäger Aufkul in the middle. I mean, this is probably a calculated risk by Wero. He probably knows he's going to lose some of these Jäger Aufkul. But it will allow him to see other units and allow his reinforcements to fire across that long-range support. Jeopard is being moved up to try and hit that Mi-24. Destruction of some stuff here on the road. Jäger Aufkul here taking a lot of fire. Here's the support fire coming in against the Strelki though. 13 minutes left of this game. And right now Phoenix is still ahead. But I am worried he's on the verge of being pushed out at this point completely. Wero is getting closer and closer to that forest with lots of units. He's not sort of been in the position where he's pushed all his units up to this area before. We've seen a few push across. But we're talking about loads of tanks moving in now. Wero's still a little bit standoffish, keeping some units back, like a couple of tanks here. But fairly aggressive, keeping stuff moving. This command is in danger. And what's really behind here? Tanks. He's lacking infantry. He's got a lot of tanks there. This command is not long for this world. Has that not been seen yet? Surely. Any second now. It's just over the crest of the hill. It is just avoiding being seen. Chopper engaging on the Sicherungs. Sicherung don't have any anti-tank, so they can't kill that. No one's seen it still. That is the perfect position for that command. It genuinely cannot be seen by anything. Look at its positioning there. If you go anywhere else along here, that's probably quite good back there. But this little area, look at what it can see and what. So that's kind of reflecting what can see it. You have to get to here to see it. That tank is right next to it and cannot see it. That is a brilliant position, Phoenix. I commend you for that position. Leopard's pushing you down here now as well. Reinforcements have arrived. There's a tank coming in here. It's firing at these units here. I can't believe that that command unit has survived still. After all that. I mean, Phoenix is out at this point. Other than that command. And one squad of infantry and those infantry just push back in. There's another command up here now. The command tank's in. Seed flying across, taking fire from the Oss as it goes past. Did dodge. More artillery fire. Hitting... I think he's... I don't know what he's trying to hit at the back there. He's kind of hitting tanks. I wondered if he was going for... Oh! Anti-air unit dead. This command's being rolled out. Lots of HE bombers. I think that seed was kept in for a while to keep the AA off. Another Osa coming in there, and a bit of you, sir. It's been quite a tense game. A slow crawl for Wero to get back into this point and push across it. Unfortunately, just unable to finish off this command. And now there's another one in there. This one, a little bit easier to be seen by anything in this forest, I think, especially if they come over here. BMP3 killing another tank. Motorstralky killing a tank. I mean, Phoenix is hanging on for dear life here. And Wero is having a real hard time at getting in to find this command. I mean, the positioning of Phoenix's stuff is pretty good. I mean, he's got tanks that are damaged, but as long as they sit back and they can fire at anything that comes to this edge. Leopard's pushing up here. Will be going up against an anti-tank unit. Both dead. These guys, obviously, with their multitudes of RPG-29s, very good at taking out tanks. Very, very good, in fact. Can they see that? I'm not sure that tank could see that, but I'm pretty sure the T-62 fired at it. Wero is losing a lot of stuff at this edge. 8 minutes left of this game. It is going to go at the wire, and at the moment, Phoenix is going to win. Wero needs to get Phoenix out of this point completely. Wero's still managing to get stuff in down this road as well. Seed coming over means, yeah, bombers coming in. Just one bomber this time. Other one must be repairing. Don't know what it's firing at. Over this way. Is that going for the command tank? Just at the back of the map. I think that's an attempt at finding a command, but anything that peeks over there is going to get wrecked by Wero's forces. Seed took a shot, but is still alive. Smoke there. Who's smoking? I can't decide if that was Wero smoking or if that was... That could be Wero smoking the area. Possibly to stop stuff firing at his units coming in, I'm not sure. He's bringing in a lot of units here. 7 minutes left. I mean, he still has time to make the points up, I think, but he has to do it quickly. I forget the exact amount of time he would have left. Really, really good defending from Phoenix at this edge. There's a lot of fire going down here. Jaeger almost close enough to kill that tank. But I'm not sure they can see it still. No, they can't. It just smoked. Fantastic timing on a smoke. SU-25 anti-tank coming in. 6 minutes to go, and that tank is sat behind its smoke. Merrily. Sapri RPO coming in as well now. I mean, surely they know that tank is there. And the only way you're killing that is to charge into the smoke. Sapri RPO are causing him issues. The tank is causing him issues. All of this fire going against these infantry here. I think he just cannot find that command. 5 minutes left. And that tank has just evaded poor Wero all this time. Just sat behind its smoke still. Smoke is gone. He's only got Zisharungs left. He's got one Jaeger back there. Leo 2A3 there. Cannot see that tank. Still some smoke on that tank. Chopper in again, taking out those Zisharungs. All these infantry just lambs to the slaughter. The Zisharung still can't see that tank. Oh my god. Oh, there's still smoke there. Command is moved out with 4 minutes to go. +3. Command back in. Surely he saw where that came back in. But he's got so little left now. He has so little left. The Jaeger pushing up. Jaeger engaging. Jaeger kill the command. Finally. Bit overextension there from Phoenix. Does that mean that there's not enough time for Wero to win this at +3? 4 minutes left. You get points every 1.5 seconds. I'm sure someone in the comments will have done that calculation. Could he have won this? There was another command there, but I assume it's dead. So there's that command vehicle that he pulled out a while ago. Well, there's a command here coming in across, look, from the bottom. Racing along, so probably will get in this side. This is going to be tight. But I think that... Oh, the command's dead. Another T-62 command coming in, though. Don't think there's anything to stop it. Leo 1F5's at the top there getting wrecked. This T-62 should get back in the point, I think, before Wero has caught up. He's going straight in this side, and he's pretty much in control of this area now, Phoenix. Wero's all the way back. With 3 minutes to go, I'm afraid it's looking like a win for Phoenix. Commiserations to Wero on this one. A really, really hard-fought battle, but this was just an absolute meat grinder at this side for both players. Both losing loads of units, and poor Wero lost so much stuff pushing into this forest and trying to find that command. I mean, that was a lot of infantry and vehicle losses. Phoenix re-securing this position, just rolling in all of his tanks. Leo 2A3s will do some damage here, though. But the command tank is situated right at the back, nice and safe, with 2 minutes left of the game. HE bomber coming in to hit those units at the front. SU-25 anti-tank coming in for those leopards. Leopards getting out of there in the smoke, though. SU-25 taking fire from Tornado. And some ground. Oh, SU-25 is down. That was an extremely challenging game. And you can tell by how long it went on. That was, you know, that was two players butting heads massively in the middle for that entire game. Wero almost got back to that 280 point mark and pushed past it. He would have had it. He would have had enough time to do it. There's no question about that, but command was already en route from Phoenix. He knew what was going to happen. Really tight game at the end there. Wero rushing commands into the bottom here. He's going to cap the bottom point. With 1 minute to go, he's +2. And it doesn't matter if this command dies because he has capped the point. The point is his. +4. Wero at +4 could take this game with 50 seconds left. Infantry commander on the way in from the back there. Has been redirected to this point, I think. Was originally going to the centre. It just saw it stop mid-road there. And Wero has pushed past. He's at 291. 25 seconds to go. At least 10 seconds for that vehicle to get in with that command. Can Wero breach 380? I need to check the rules here because I don't know if it's just who gets the most points or if you have to be 100 points ahead. Command in +2 currently. 371. Technically, it's a draw. I need to check the rules because I don't know if that was definitely a draw. So hold that thought and I will edit the video and I'll put it in afterwards. But what a game, guys. You both lost a lot of stuff. There's a lot of kills from both sides and a lot of losses. Wow. I'm expecting to see, yeah, Marder's doing well, Tanks doing well, and down at the bottom, I'm expecting, yeah, Choppers did well, Tanks and BMP3s. Yeah, BMP3's getting loads of kills. SG25 did pretty well. BMP3, T80, 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 T62, T80. It's all those infantry that were coming to the edge of that forest, just getting wrecked by the tanks. That was a really good game and very tense at the end there. I need to check the rules, as I say. Both of you deserve the win there. It deserves to be a draw as well because you both played so well. But Wero very sneaky at the end with that infantry commander. Very sneaky. I liked it. It was unexpected to suddenly happen. Right, let's get into game number 2. As I say, I'll check the rules and make sure I put something on the screen to say who won or lost that one. Welcome back to game number 2. So, Wero and Ph3n6 once more. Wero on the left in blue, playing as the 2nd Panzer Grenadiers once more. And over on the right, we have Ph3n6 playing as the 7th Panzer Division. Obviously, we still have those forward deployment troops. For Wero, he's got plenty of machine guns pushing up quite fast. I love Chemical. It's one of my favourite little maps, especially in the 1v1s and 2v2s. It turns out to be a really fun match usually, because you've got such a variety of playing areas. Not so much open ground, but plenty of forests. You've got the city here, which has some open spaces as well for use with tanks. But it usually turns out to be quite a fun game. Once again, we're seeing use of those early choppers for Ph3n6. He's being quite aggressive with one at the top there. Just using it to take out vehicles. It's a good choice. Taking out these looks at the back. His infantry pushing up and... oh, he's taken out the machine gunner that was there. Quick cap for the bottom and the top there for Wero. Command is in... oh, second command is in for Ph3n6 as well. I was going to say he's got one in the middle that got Bravo, but he is bringing another one for the back point. Now, this is always interesting because quite often people leave the back points undefended. So it'll be quite interesting to see if anyone attempts to get one of those in this game. Down here, Wero going for a very defensive posture in this position. Plenty of units down here, though. And to be fair, Ph3n6 doing exactly the same. So perhaps both players already deciding that they're going to focus on Charlie as far as combat goes. Good use of the M40s in both these games by Wero. So, Wero slightly ahead in points. Ph3n6 very briefly got +3. And now we are back to neutralized. I'm really curious to see who is the most aggressive here. I really can't see there being much movement here. They're both... oh. You know, I say that and then Wero starts moving his units forward. I was expecting this to end up very defensive on both sides, just the positioning. Almost like clockwork, Wero has started moving and Ph3n6 has now started moving. I mean, Ph3n6 can't have seen that, but almost at the same time, these two players pushing the bottom. I'm trying to keep that in view so I can see what's happening. I'm going to turn the camera. I don't often do this in these games, but I just want to be able to see both these points and be a little bit closer to the action. And I can't do it properly from the other side. So, MI-24 being used very effectively here, but taking a lot of fire from the Jeopard there that is now moved up. Tornado coming in again. He really likes these Tornado HE bombers. Though, honestly, they haven't done a huge amount of damage. They just seem to be mostly killing buildings. In fact, did those bombs even go off? That was rather pitiful. It didn't even look like they exploded when they landed there. That was bizarre. That was really weird. Not seen that before. A little bit of skirmishing at the top here between the units defending on either side. Down here is Wero making some progress. I think Phoenix is quite spread out in terms of where his units are, and I think just the clustering of Wero means that he's doing a bit more damage. Another HE bomber came in there. I think has flattened that building. Vehicle dead here. Motsuchin, where are these Fliegerforst going? It's very risky to have them running off on their own. There's a Pioneer Flam that is about to wreck them. Special Clara versus Zischerungs here. Some more Special Clara are assisting though. This is a weird little engagement. Yeah, I was going to say, Flamethrower absolutely annihilated the Fliegerforst. Don't know where they were off to on their own. They turn back around now. I feel weird looking at it from one side of the map. More reinforcements heading to the top of this point for Phoenix. Obviously, he knows that he needs to push this corner to get Wero out. Wero is now retreating from these Pioneers and the SPW-70s. I mean, the Jaeger Aufkul could easily kill the SPW-70. There is a Fuchs just sat at the back there. Obviously, Phoenix doesn't know it's there. Tornado IDS HE bomber coming in. Let's just see if its bombs explode this time. What was that? I'm sat here wondering if this is now the patch where they really nerfed bombs and artillery. It's so difficult to tell which patch I'm in, but the fact that those little things are just like puffs of smoke rather than explosions makes me think it's the patch where they had completely nerfed this stuff. That is my only explanation for that in my head. Because the last game there were still explosions, but this there are none. It's like little puffs of smoke. Good positioning on a Conkers here, by the way. Just get some shots across there. Obviously puts that Leo 101 at risk. Lots of units up here, not actually managing to make too much progress through these infantry. Some Lux pushing around the top there. That command is in a really bad position. I mean, those Lux are going to wreck that if they drive across there. Why is the command sat there? I'm assuming that Phoenix was thinking you might push around the top at some point, but you don't leave it undefended and unguarded without any recon. That's crazy. Crazy. Everything reinforcement-wise is going to the center, but Phoenix making progress here. I honestly thought Wero had the upper hand over here, but he did then retreat, and Phoenix is making progress. Phoenix will need to keep pumping in reinforcements here, though, to keep the pressure on. And equally, Wero's got to do the same to defend now. But there's nothing... All of this stuff is going to the middle. He's not really keeping the pressure up here, but, you know, there's not a lot here for Wero. I think there was a period about between now and the next 5 minutes where he could probably be a bit more aggressive and get in here. Because all of this stuff is going to the center as well. They're both very focused up there. T-72s, T-55, and EU. Is he pushing across here to go after those looks? He's obviously realised they're there now. This is out of missiles, so although it could probably be firing over there, it cannot currently. There are some supplies going for it. Phoenix already all over it. Pioneers here, just getting a bit overwhelmed by everything that's here now. A grueling battle up here, though, in the chemical plant. Mi-24, good choice to take out those looks. Very good choice. What else we got coming in? Some anti-air heading to the middle. Some infantry heading all the way to the top of the map. Yeah, both players really focused. I'm surprised that there isn't more reinforcement here. Both of them just playing very defensively at the bottom. A little bit of aggression from both of them now and then, but not really committing a lot of forces. Tornado IDS-HE bombs actually dropped and looked like they did explode this time at least, instead of just leaving a puff of smoke. But still, not really doing anything. This has to be the patch where they were nerfed. I have no other explanation for why they're just not doing anything on this one. Because they're the 450 kilogram bombs on that plane. We checked in the last game, if you remember. Pioneers still alive. Are they going to win this? Oh my word, how did they win that fight? They have survived. Versus Pioneer squads and an Alpha Clara squad. I mean, they deserve to be repaired. Because they survived that long. They deserve to be repaired. Phoenix making good progress here. Slow, grueling progress, but progress nonetheless. Here's the Tornado HE again. Let's just double check. Yeah, 450 kilogram bombs. It did actually do some damage, and it did explode this time at least. I mean, that's definitely an improvement, right? They were exploding that time. Alpha Clara finishing the job. There's a lot of red here, which is very spread out, but there's a lot of it there. Whereas we're seeing blue here, which is more clustered, but there just isn't as much of it. There's definitely not as much. Phoenix here with quite a few things, including a command tank coming in now. And he is bringing in more stuff here, so he is getting ready to push Delta. And he has the advantage. He needs to be careful of these M40s versus these vehicles, though. F4F, HE2 coming in. Again, 450 kilogram bombs on this thing. Dropping on the infantry at the back. Did at least explode. Didn't do much damage. Where's the command? Sat behind this building here. This is a HE bomber again. I'm really just watching for these explosions. See, they are exploding now. So I don't know if that was a bug or a graphical glitch, you know, in the game or the replay. I'm not. I mean, it sort of plays out the replay within the game engine, so it's not like a video. But it's just weird that we had a situation where there weren't really any explosions for a while at the start. Cluster bomber, I think that just missed those tanks. Certainly stressed them out, though. Good amount of units here now for Phoenix. I think he will be able to make progress into this point. Certainly get his command tank in there, which will push him up to +2. Phoenix obviously is on the back foot technically in points right now. Is that T-72 firing at that command? I don't think it is. I think it's taking AoE damage from the tank shooting at the building. Tank can almost see it, though. 4 1A1A1s coming in. Getting shot at immediately in that area by the T-72. And the T-72 up here taking out that one. Oh, T-72 there could be in trouble. Smoking, yeah. Lots of reinforcements coming in. Wero is hanging on for dear life here. Zisharungs and stuff coming in the bottom here to reinforce. Tanks going to the center, though. Where's the command tank? It is there. HE bomber coming in again. Anti-air isn't doing much this patch. There is anti-air here, but it's really struggling to get range on these tornadoes as they come in. Obviously needs to be moved a bit further forward. The Cub is being moved up now by the looks of it. Phoenix is in control of most of this point, but he just cannot get eyes on that command. It's in a really good position. If we look at where it is, if I hold C over it, see it's covered at nearly every side by other buildings. So it's very hard to see. You have to almost get behind the line of those buildings to see it. Phoenix! Oh my word! How sneaky was that? Trundling across the top, he actually managed to get it over there and into that point. +6 to Phoenix, because he's got his command in the bottom at the same time. Oh, Phoenix, you fiendish man. That was well played. Command in the bottom. Plane is down. He's finally lost a jet. SU cluster coming in to try and do some damage to some tanks, I think. Does get a good run on those Leos there. This is really, really well played by Phoenix. He's got himself into a really good position here. Getting a really good lead. I cannot believe that BTR-60 made it all the way across the back on its own. I cannot believe it got there on its own. But do you remember what I said? Most people leave these two back points completely undefended. And I wondered if we would see someone take advantage of that, and there you go. Completely undefended, both of them. Not just Wero. Phoenix is completely undefended too. There's nothing along the top for either player at the moment. And there's nothing in either point for either player. Obviously, someone eventually took advantage of that, and in this case it was Phoenix. But it's so common that people just don't put anything in those points. I mean, one recon squad sat in that forest would protect that point and at least allow you to respond. And the same over here. One recon squad sat there would give you a line of sight down this road to be able to tell if anything's coming, or, you know, back here at this point. And it just gives you a little bit of freedom that you can see this whole area here. But it's a consistent thing we see, is people not putting anything in those points. And it's a cost. You have to weigh it up. You're paying for a command. So the response is a command coming in from Wero, but that will only neutralize that point. So it'll still be +4 to Phoenix. He needs something up there to fight back. But obviously anything he spends on that point isn't going to the center. Although Phoenix has stalled. He's currently +6. He's at nearly 600 points. Heading rapidly towards the 50% mark. The 100,000 points even. What am I talking about? Once he gets to 1,000 points, he's at 50%. And he can just sit pretty. He doesn't need to push. He just needs to hold and build up and defend now. So this is a complete change of pace. We're now in a situation where Wero needs to push. Much like we were at the start of the last game, Wero needed to push. And in this game, he needs to push again now. Still using these HE bombers. Does it get a kill? It does get a kill. Nice to see them actually getting a kill. I was starting to worry. FS Jaeger coming in to try and take out that command. But he's going to be well into the 1,000 point mark by the time the Jaeger get to that command vehicle. But obviously completely stalled in the center here. Phoenix doesn't need to push there. Seed coming across is taking shots at the Eyehawks. Cluster bomber lingering at the back here. Oh, he took out the recon chopper. Phoenix's command running away. HE bomber coming in here. Is that going for... It is going for that. But it's going for where it was, because he doesn't know where it's moved to. Currently +4 still to Phoenix. He's got plenty in here defending that command tank. I think it's fine at the moment. We are at the halfway mark of the game. And unless Wero manages to change something drastically, this game will go to Phoenix before time is up. Really well played to both players, but Phoenix, very sneaky, worked very well. Also, with the command tank down here, very good choice. Easier to protect. Obviously, you can bomb that to your heart's content. There's no guarantee you're going to kill it unless you bring in a cluster. But I think a lot of people tend to think that you'd use a command infantry here rather than a vehicle. Because of the forest, obviously. But tanks take a little bit of punishment. Phoenix managed to clear out these buildings as well. Recon coming in there. Still +4. Jaeger are now at the top of this point. Will start pushing across this way. Technically, the BTR can defend itself, but I imagine that as soon as it opens fire, it will get hit by a Tornado HE. Bombs landing here again, doing a little bit of damage to that tank, but it will get repaired very quickly. There is a supply there. Wero making some progress in the center here, though. Jaeger are on the move, going the wrong way. They were actually heading towards the center. BTR has opened fire on them. That gives away its position. We are now past the halfway point. And Phoenix is well past the halfway point in points. There's a lot of points in that sentence. Jaeger are indeed getting ripped apart by the BTR-60's machine gun. I did wonder how much damage they'd take if they tried to charge it. He is trying to charge it now. I think they'll be in range of it to fire that. Oh no, he's pulling them back again. I was waiting. Oh, there's a part coming in to fire at it. I was waiting for the bomber to come in, to be honest. I was waiting for that bomber. Really well played, guys, but very, very well played by Phoenix. Managing to clear up down here and then being very sneaky at the top. I completely missed the fact that he'd shifted that across. Pretty tight on kills and losses, guys, but it was all about grabbing those points, and Phoenix just did it. Surrender there from Wero. Commiserations, Wero. You played really well. Really good effort in both games. I mean, they were enjoyable to watch. In the first game, it was really tense at the end. Phoenix just snatched that one there. Really well played, guys. Let's have a quick look at the kills and losses. I mean, it was pretty balanced on both sides. I'm not expecting to see anything stand out too much. Just the usual tanks. That Motsuchin squad got a lot of kills. The SU cluster got quite a few. But yeah, pretty standard affair there. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Please do like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for more from the WARNO tournament as the month goes on. And I'll see you all soon.